Right now, I want you to think about this question. What percentile are you in? Not your income percentile, your wealth percentile. Because here's what happens. Most people know they're in the top 30% of earners. They feel successful. They feel like they're doing well. But when you actually calculate their net worth, they're in the bottom 40% of wealth. Same person. Two completely different percentiles. And today we're going to show you exactly where you stand. And more importantly, how to move up. So let's start simple. Percentile just means, out of 100 people, where do you rank? If you're in the 75th percentile, that means 75% of people have less than you. 25% have more. That's it. That's the whole system. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most of us think in income percentiles. We know roughly where we rank for what we earn. But wealth percentiles? Completely different game. Your income percentile tells you how much money comes in. Your wealth percentile tells you how much money you've actually kept. And for millions of people, those two numbers don't match at all. A person making $150,000 a year might be in the 80th percentile for income, but their wealth percentile? 35th bottom third. Meanwhile, someone making $65,000 might be in the 55th percentile for income, but their wealth percentile? 70th upper middle. Same economy, same opportunity, completely different results. So the question becomes, where are you actually standing? Let me introduce you to Jordan. She's 34 years old, works in marketing. She makes $95,000 a year. That puts her in approximately the 65th income percentile. Above average, doing well by most standards. She has a nice apartment, a decent car. She takes vacations. She goes out. When someone asks her, "Are you doing okay financially?" she says yes. Genuinely yes. She feels fine. But let's calculate her actual wealth percentile. Her assets, savings, $12,000 retirement account, $31,000 total, $43,000. Her debts, car loan, $18,000 credit card debt, $8,500 total, $26,500. Her net worth, $43,000 minus $26,500 equals $16,500. At 34 years old, with a solid income, her net worth is $16,500. Now, what percentile does that put her in? Bottom 40%. She's 65th percentile for income, 40th percentile for wealth. There's a 25 percentile gap between what she earns and what she's actually built. And here's the shocking part. Jordan is not an outlier. She's completely normal. The average American at her age. Net worth between $10,000 and $30,000. Exactly where Jordan is. So millions of people are in Jordan's position. High income percentile. Low wealth percentile. Completely invisible gap. They feel successful because they earn well. But they're not actually building anything. That's the disconnect we need to fix. Okay. So let's break down the 5 main wealth percentiles in America. Bottom 25%, 0th, 25th percentile. Net worth, negative to $75,000. This is struggle mode. These are people with debt exceeding their assets, or barely any assets at all. Sometimes this is circumstance, medical emergency, job loss. Sometimes it's lifestyle choices that caught up. What's it like? Paycheck dependent. One emergency equals crisis. Percentile feeling, stressed. Lower middle, 25th to 50th percentile. Net worth, $75,000 to $250,000. This is the starting point. People who are building. They might own a car. They have some savings. Maybe some home equity if they bought early. They're ahead of half the country. But there's still a ceiling on their options. Percentile feeling, cautiously optimistic. The middle, 50th to 75th percentile. Net worth, $250,000 to $600,000. This is where stability happens. These are people who own a home with real equity. They have retirement savings, multiple assets. They feel secure. Not rich, but solid. Percentile feeling, safe. Upper middle, 75th to 90th percentile. Net worth, $600,000 to $2 million. Now we're in serious wealth territory. These people don't stress about money. They stress about taxes and strategy. They have options most people don't have. Percentile feeling, free. Top 10%, 90th to 100th percentile. Net worth, $2 million plus. This is generational wealth territory. Money isn't a constraint. It's a tool. Percentile feeling, powerful. Now here's what breaks people's minds. Two people with the exact same income can be in completely different percentiles. A surgeon making $300,000 a year is definitely in the 90th income percentile, right? But if that surgeon has $1.2 million in student debt, a $500,000 house with a big mortgage, luxury cars with loans, and takes expensive vacations every year, their net worth might only be $150,000. That puts them in the 45th wealth percentile, 90th percentile income, 45th percentile wealth. Meanwhile, a teacher making $65,000 a year started saving at 25. Never stopped. Bought a modest house. Kept the car until it died. Invested consistently. At 54 years old, that teacher's net worth is $800,000. They're in the 55th income percentile. But the 75th wealth percentile. Same economy. Same opportunity. One person moved up the wealth percentile ladder. One person stayed still. The difference wasn't luck. It was percentile awareness. It was behavior. Here's something else that matters. Your age changes what your percentile actually means. A 28-year-old in the 40th wealth percentile is in great shape. They have time. Time is the most powerful wealth multiplier that exists. A 58-year-old in the 40th wealth percentile is in trouble. They're running out of time to move up. This is brutal, but true. Starting early is worth multiple income percentiles. If you invest $500 a month starting at 25, you'll hit the 70th wealth percentile by 65. If you start that investment at 45, you'll hit the 45th wealth percentile by 65. Same monthly amount. Same returns. The 20-year head start is worth 25 percentile points. That's why age-adjusted percentiles matter. A 30-year-old with $150,000 is crushing it. A 55-year-old with $150,000 is behind. Now let's take Jordan, our $95,000 earner in the 40th wealth percentile, and show you three different futures. Future 1 stays still. Jordan keeps doing what she's doing. No changes. Income grows a little. Lifestyle grows with it. In 20 years, at 54 years old, her net worth is maybe $180,000. What percentile is that? 45th. Maybe 48th. She's moved up slightly, but she's still below the median. She's still invisibly broke. Percentile reality. She spent 20 years earning well and moved up 5 percentile points. Feeling. Regret mixed with panic as retirement gets closer. Future 2, moderate changes. At 34, Jordan makes a decision. She's not going extreme, but she's intentional. She moves to a cheaper apartment. Saves $400 a month. She stops carrying credit card balances. Pays off that $8,500 in 6 months. She increases her retirement contributions by 2%. Another $150. She drives her car for 5 more years instead of upgrading every 4. Total. About $700 a month going toward building wealth instead of consuming. Over 20 years, that's compounding. By 54, her net worth is approximately $520,000. What percentile is that? 65th, upper middle class. She can retire. Not luxuriously, but she can retire. She has actual options. Percentile movement, 40th, 65th. A 25 percentile jump. Feeling security, pride, relief. Future 3, aggressive wealth building. Jordan gets serious, not at the expense of living, but with intention. She finds a roommate situation. Rent drops to $900, saves $700. She negotiates a small raise. Another $300. She cuts discretionary spending intentionally. Another $300. She leverages that paid-off car by not replacing it. Total, about $1,200 to $1,300 a month toward building wealth. Over 20 years, that's $288,000 plus compound growth. By 54, her net worth is approximately $850,000 to $1 million. What percentile is that? 80th upper middle approaching wealthy. She can retire early if she wants. She has real freedom. Percentile movement, 40th, 80th. A 40 percentile jump. Feeling empowerment. Possibility. Genuine freedom. Same person. Same $95,000 income. 3 different outcomes. Future 1, 45th percentile barely moved. Future 2, 65th percentile real security. Future 3, 80th percentile actual wealth. The difference between Future 1 and Future 3 is about $800,000 and 35 percentile points. That's not luck. That's not a big income increase. That's percentile awareness plus behavior. The math is simple. Keep more of what you make, and your percentile moves up. It compounds. It accelerates. Over 20 years, small choices become massive outcomes. Here's what I want you to understand. Where you are right now is information, not identity. If you're in the 40th wealth percentile making good money, that's not a judgment. It's a data point. It's information you can act on. You can move up your percentile, not overnight, but genuinely over time through behavior. You already know what to do. The question is, which percentile are you building toward? Subscribe if this made you think about your actual wealth percentile differently.